Welcome back, everyone! And tonight on the Spotlight, we're taking a peculiar trip down memory lane. One that, surprisingly enough, was updated like 2 weeks ago. And the Nameless Mod is a fan-made campaign slash total conversion for Deus Ex, a game which needs no introduction. And this was a bit of a journey for me. The plot is about Deus Ex fan communities themselves, imagined as a kind of virtual space. You're essentially playing out a role-playing session. If that sounds dumb and full of in-jokes nobody but the fan community would get, well, that's what I thought too, and it's not wrong, but that's also selling it way too short. There's a lot to talk about, but I'll summarize by saying this, despite all appearances, is a professional-grade product and one of the best damn mods I've ever played. It's solidly executed, well-presented, builds on the base gameplay of Deus Ex to create something novel and interesting. It does things the original game did not do, and does them well. Now, the original release was in 2009, and it had been in development so long that the community it was originally about, Planet Deus Ex, no longer existed. So it's kind of an interesting timepiece of like mid-2000s forum culture in addition to being a fun campaign. So why talk about it now? Well, the good Zero Zohar, a regular figure in chat there, mentioned that this had been integrated with Deus Ex Revision, another mega mod for the base game that actually has Steam integration. It's not quite merging the two, it's just layering the Nameless Mod over the Revision installation to make it easier to play. More importantly, it got updated in a big way, which changed a lot of the map designs, added new content, a slew of bug fixes. It's a pretty significant update over the original, which itself was no slouch in its design. Like the original, this is quite a long game with a lot to discuss, but we're gonna play through the opening section and give you a taste of what it does well and why it sticks with me. So let's get started. So these skills are mostly intact. They've made a few changes here and there. As you can see, there's no swimming skill. It's sort of been set to a default state. We'll be bumping computer, lockpicking. Oh, hang on a second. Downgrade. I upgraded a bit too far there. Yeah, we'll be upgrading lockpicking and electronics. Because in the early part of the game, there's not a whole lot of combat to worry about. And a big thing is having the resources to scavenge around the city. They actually give you interesting little ways to change your character. Like previously, you could set what your character looked like in the broad sense, usually just whether you were like white, black, Latino, Hispanic, albino, that kind of thing. In this case, they actually let you like put on a coat and varying different types of eyewear and such. It's tiny little things, but you can make yourself look like the original JC Denton if you wanted, or just put on the coat or shoot entirely. And people actually take notice of this. They'll like comment on what you're wearing and such. And there's little things here and there where the game responds to you, to the micro and macro decisions you make along the way. In that classic Deus Ex fashion, but also expanded on in interesting ways. Anyway, let's get to it. We'll let the opening cutscene speak for itself. Because unlike most mods, this is fully voice acted.
No flame wars on my shift.
So yeah, the guy with the Walton Simon skin is actually a good guy. Supposedly. There's more going on. Yeah, he's a moderator for this place called Forum City, which is like a virtual space for the Deus Ex fan community. It's another night on patrol, but someone's out there.
Hey, what the?
And the plot begins.
This is Phasmatis. I can't come to the phone right now, but leave a message after the beep. Despot probably has my phone bugged, so he may give me your message. Otherwise, I'll receive it when I get home.
We need to talk. The curfew was a good start, but with Deus Diablo gone, we're not going to be in charge of this city much longer. Report in at the new HQ when you hear this. I'll set some things in motion in the meantime. I'll see you there.
Will Faz have time to look for Deus? I think he's got more than enough on his hands fighting the riots and looting.
Phasmatis has some useful contacts. Last night in the bar, he was talking about contacting Trest Khan.
Fine, but we can't just sit around waiting for Faz to show up.
Oh dear God, I have pockets.
Back to your office, Gond. Slicer, Go get that interview with the scientist who contacted us. It sounded like he had something important to tell us about World Corp's activities and the incident at Aunt Betty's Industries. If we're lucky, it has something to do with Deus. We also need to do something about the escalating cult wars. That conflict will blow wide open if they realize we've lost control.
Send Gand. Maybe the goat cult will abduct him.
Sort of, Mirage. It's the Matrix, but we all know it's the Matrix.
No. Let that loon think he's running the place. We'll step up the firewall presence in the downtown sector until we can arrange for a more permanent solution to the cult problem.
What about DXO?
They're one of my primary suspects for the abduction. It's a toss-up between them and World Corp.
I've been probing their systems all day. I'll let you know if I make any progress.
Good. When Faz comes by, tell him I'll be in Saul's bar getting a drink and some advice from Alpha.
Hey, Orange. Good to see you both, you and Mirage. Good to see you. It is exactly that, Mirage.
Yeah.
It's basically pretending that all the forum
Phasmatis
drama
and
is
Castro
really
souls.
happening.
They're calling in an old agent named Trescon.
That name sounds familiar.
I'll keep an eye on the checkpoints in the downtown district. I reckon the faster we take this newbie down, the less trouble he'll be.
No, don't kill him. I have a better idea.
So yeah, it's essentially a virtual space that's supposed to represent the planet Deus Ex forums, and it's implied that they're all still just people with offline lives, but also there's definitely more online drama happening than would otherwise be possible.
Ah, there you are. I'm glad you made it here so quickly. This is quite important. My apartment is on the 4th floor on the right.
Alright, so yeah, we are Trescon. We've been called in by Phasmatis to investigate the missing moderator. For some reason, it's a situation that they cannot resolve themselves. Turn the music a little bit back up. Actually, I'm gonna bump the window up just a little bit. As absurdly long-running PvP RP was like that. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the fun of the premise.
Ah, Trescon. Phasmatis is expecting you. Go right up. Beware of security, though. They haven't got much to do, so they tend to shoot at anything.
Alright, so Forum City under lockdown. Recently, the news went out from PDX HQ that Deus Diablo, one of the elected moderators of Forum City, has disappeared without a trace. Not long after that, Phasmatis, who's another moderator of the city, received a message from an anonymous sender stating that he had kidnapped Deus Diablo. Both the DxO terrorist cell and the president of World Corp, Skyra B. King, are under suspicion. Until the crime has been solved, the city has been put under armed lockdown for the first time since the large-scale DxO terrorist strike half a year ago. However, while firewalls have been deployed to keep the city under control, help to solve the kidnapping is being sought from other places. The Llama and Goat cults have denied responsibility, and they do indeed lack the motive to have committed such a horrible crime. If the kidnappers are found, they will be permanently banned from the city. Planet Deus Ex has issued a reward of 500 credits for anybody that can supply a valid lead to the case. So yeah, let's go meet our contact, and it'll tell us a bit more about what's going on, and about ourselves as a character. So yeah, as I was saying, a word on the sound design. Unlike nearly every Deus Ex campaign out there, this one is fully voiced. Every character, right down to random NPCs you find on the street, has voice acting. And while it's not all studio quality, a lot of it's pretty well done. Like, you could hear the difference in the way every person was speaking, little differences in their microphone quality and such. But bearing in mind the subject matter, there's a lot of silly lines that are delivered with this straight face, and in spite of the occasional bad performance and direction, it's an impressive amount of effort for a free product.
Trescon, glad to see you made it.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Every major street being locked off is a recent development, isn't it?
I'm sorry about that, it's part of the curfew. To limit the rioting, we locked off all the districts and put up guarded checkpoints at the barricades.
That's really necessary? It seems rather quiet out there.
That's because you haven't seen the bad districts. Even the West resident sector, the slums, is a day on the beach compared to some sectors. You can only access the 3 districts with subway stations at the moment. The corporate district, downtown and the slums. And those are all well patrolled.
Tell me what's happened.
It's bad, very bad. Deus Diablo has been kidnapped. And with one of the moderators missing, this city's going to hell.
But you and Cashew are moderators too. Can't you handle it until DD is found?
No, what most people don't know is that Despot wouldn't trust his own mother to make him dinner. There's a safety measure, so we can't ban people without everybody agreeing. Without Deus, we can only try to correct their behavior, and as soon as DxO finds out, they're gonna make my life hell.
Can't Despot do something?
Huh. Despot is impossible to contact. Something in his pants, I think.
Alright. Why am I here?
Find out who kidnapped Diablo and why. I got an anonymous email this morning. You can start by reading that. My login is Phasmatis, and my password is Antitheus. How you run your investigation is up to you. Just remember that you're here to find DD. I'd advise you to get someone influential to support you. You won't get to the bottom of this by yourself, and someone like King Cashew and the rest of the PDX gang can provide a lot of valuable help.
So I want a word on the sound on this game. The music is fucking awesome. It's a collaboration of various composers, some independent musicians, some veterans of game music production, and it damn near perfectly fits the mood of the game. Not every track is gold, but its highs are right up there with the original. Like, I want you to pay attention to this conversation track right here, composed by Leo Badnella. It's just perfect for the conversation. It's got that largely upbeat, positive energy, tinged with some more somber guitar work. Leo himself is also a talented artist in his own right. He's done some game soundtracks and also put out some studio albums. It's kind of a Chilean Joe Satriani. Check out Beyond Consciousness, his debut album, if you get a chance. It's cover-to-cover good stuff. Anyway.
Just like the old days, eh?
Not at all. You'd have much more freedom this time.
Yeah.
But basically,
top-notch information security, huh, Kren?
Doing the same stuff.
Trescon, nobody wants to employ you full-time. You can just work freelance for us. You help PDX, we help you.
I'll think about it.
Yes, do that. Pay a visit to Sol's Bar and Grill. It's just down the road. Perfect place to pick up general info. You should remember Alpha Operator from back in the PDX CIS days. Remember his old code name was Sol. He owns the bar now.
Yeah, I remember. I think it opened a few months before I left. He always said he'd buy a bar if he ever made it to retirement. I don't think I ever believed him.
You should probably equip yourself as soon as possible. Remember that the only place to load up around here is Raving's weapon shop. Your old guns are still locked up there. I hope you kept the password to the locker. Oh, and speaking of equipment, the safe in my bedroom contains an oil canister to help you on your way. It was confiscated at the checkpoint in the slums. The code is 3467.
Thanks a lot.
Phasmatis is extremely
You're
trusting
welcome.
with Trescon.
I think I owe you a favor anyway.
There's kind of an interesting point of tension between these
check back with you when I
characters.
found
Like,
something.
Trescon has been away for a while, and you're allowed to roleplay that whether he left on good terms with his friends at the Planet Deus Ex administration, or they were there's like points of tension between them. Like, there's actually a significant plot branch later on, which I won't really get into right now, but suffice to say that the little lines of dialogue you can do here and there to display that you don't really like these characters, you can build on that, and that relationship can unfold in a radically different direction by the end of the game. So they do a lot here. I'll be jumping ahead in a little bit to a save after I've looted the apartment building, but I just want to point out the considerable level of detail right here. We're going to sign into Phasmatis' computer here. This Antitheus. So yeah, this is the email he sent to us. So yeah, Lawrence, I'm sorry to contact you like this after all this time, but we do really need your help. Deus Diablo has gone missing. We're pretty sure he's abducted. Blah, 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 etc. I'm asking you to handle this case. Political climate in the community is extremely volatile. Here's what I wanted to pay attention to, the print function right here. So you don't by default record data cubes and information verbatim, but you can make a hard copy, which when you print it out, if there's an attached printer, does get added to your data vaults verbatim. Like you can see here, we summarize information we count so far, sort of like how it happens in Deus Ex Prime, but data cubes will be summarized in this way as well, and you're sort of expected to make additions like this, or even just type them, which is a feature almost nobody never use. Just a fun little thing right there. But yeah, basically they play a little bit more with making your own notes and being expected to flex those investigative muscles a bit. And just the overall level of detail in these environments and the reactivity is... Well, imagine if Deus Ex fans basically had a decade to work on a product and make it as much of the original as possible, if not more so. And this is pretty much what you get here. So that is 3, 4, 6, 7. Thank you. Let's see, yeah. Naturally, Augs in Forum City have nothing to do with biology. Like everything else on Forum Planet, they're simply a visual representation of some element of the cyber reality. In case of augmentations, it should be emphasized that all various parts of Forum Planet have some sort of means to upgrade your account. Otherwise, what will be the point of veteran status? The general approach is to use elements from the game associated with each city. Thus, Planet Quake has power-ups, Planet Warcraft has resources, Planet Neverwinter has skills and feats, Planet Deus Ex has skills and Augs, blah blah, etc. So yeah, essentially,
find the DxO.
all this is essentially...
I heard DD mumble something.
This Deus Ex universe is essentially a self-contained reality, and the various different games of their own little forum places have their own 3D space. Sword Art Online, exactly. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We have this notepad hidden right behind here, which has a longer description of what's going on, and then in your data vault, you just have a summary that says key hidden next to tree with bricks nearby. So there's a lot of interesting things going on.
Trescott, long time no see. Come visit my office in the World Corp building as soon as you have time. I have some very important information for you. And quite a good offer, too, if you arrive on time. See you here, Trescott.
Recurring gags that Scara doesn't actually know how to pronounce Trescott's name.
I saw you got a PM from Scara. Whatever you do, Trescott, don't go to World Corp. Come to PDX and hear what I have to tell you first. You cannot trust Scara. Just don't listen to anything he tells you.
Yeah, I gotcha. Anyway, we'll jump ahead to after I have looted the building. We are right outside, having taken on the task. And focusing on this early objective here. We'll get a update shortly on what exactly it is we're expected to do.
Trest, Cashew wants to make sure you're still up to scratch. He's asked me to give you a test to see if you're still as good as you used to be. After all, 2 years is a lot of time to get rusty and right. We don't want to get you killed. Here's the deal. To leave this district, you have to use the subway. The problem is, the subway company stopped selling day passes some time ago, and a monthly pass costs 1,000 credits. Now, while we could just give you the money, this should be an excellent opportunity to brush up on your skills. Your tests will be to gather 1,000 credits for the subway. To be frank, if you aren't resourceful enough to do this, you'll be in no condition to handle the assignments we're planning to give you. Good luck.
Alright, so I like this as an introductory task, giving you a simple goal and dropping you in an area with many ways to accomplish it. It's classic Deus Ex and set the tone for what to expect. And since they've changed the layout to this area, it's actually new to me, so somewhat new to me. So let's get started. So yeah, previously in the quote-unquote original release of this, there were fewer interfering buildings between you and the main objectives. Like, the overall layout was similar, but there was a lot less environmental detail. For the update they did recently, they've done a massive overhaul of various maps and such. Like, the apartment building was basically untouched, but there's a lot of buildings you can sort of weave into and search around. And overall, the game is just dense with detail that you can explore. And for this opening task of just trying to find money, I think that works very well. You're sort of encouraged, so yeah, we have firewalls here investigating what appears to be a break-in. These guys are basically just AI personalities. They have no individual personalities of their own.
Monitoring further activity.
Literally just robot cops. They're actually technically robots, and they're vulnerable to EMP damage. Anyway, time to start looking for money. Let's see, that's access to Medbot. We don't have the cash for that. Let us look around. What do we got here? Okay, barricades have been set up in the tunnel system. As per PDX memo, there will be no vehicle traffic passing through this section of the tunnel, and absolutely no parking in the downtown garages west of here. If you're reading this, you must have a residence in this sector. If not, see if you can shack up with a friend until the lockdown is over. Overtime will be paid as usual for work. Now that everything is closed down, consider it a vacation. Now you guys listen up. Remember those noobs idiots that have been sniffing around our asses lately? If you can make sure they don't break into the maintenance areas through the surface access door on the other side of this wall, boy, that sure would be grand. I don't want to go back to work to find piles of whatever shit those people generate everywhere. All you have to do is keep the door locked. You should have a password for it somewhere so use it. If you find it unlocked, it was probably them bursting in, so don't take any chances by going any further. Find a firewall, let them know they're down there. So that will tie into a quest later.
I don't understand why they think it's necessary to put the entire city under lockdown just because a single moderator is missing. You'd think the other two could handle it, right?
Yeah, so basically, as mentioned in the conversation with Phasmatus, the moderators are not as invincible as they seem. If there's missing one of them, they lose a lot of their authority. They're still technically unkillable, but they can't actually ban anybody, and that allows for all sorts of anarchy to happen. And beneath all that is the larger question of what actually happened to him, because it seemed like he basically just got abducted, and it's not clear which faction is responsible.
You couldn't have waited until he was across the canal? Man, he was getting away. Will you stop giving me shit about it? How the fuck we gonna get him down there? Huh? You gonna go for a dive? Shut up. Someone's listening in.
No, carry on. What are you talking about?
Mind your own business. We'll deal with this later.
So yeah, that's a clue. Somebody's down there. So of course we are going to go down there and check on this thing. Aha! Let's see. What do you got, buddy? Finally got the weapons for your next job. 2 stealth pistols as you requested. That guy also bought some other stuff that he sold to me real cheap, so I'll put that in the stash too. This time you're gonna have to climb a bit to find it, because I'm afraid those damn junkies will find it and raid it again. It's on a plateau with an empty planter behind the condemned building. You need to stack some stuff up to get there, but it's possible. I did it. The actual stuff is hidden in the trash bags, which I guess won't keep away those bastard junkies. Well, hopefully it'll prevent the people who live there from putting their nose in it. Alright, it's just telling us where we can find a couple guns. Which you'll note we did not start with weapons. We've had to scavenge everything. Oh, we're doing the thing where there's technically enough space to count as swimming in there if you crouch down, but if you're standing, it counts as walking. So a lot of the usual engine jank with Deus Ex still applies, and in many ways they kind of lampshade it.
You there! Halt! What do you want?
Is this the Llama Temple?
Yes, it is. And no, you can't come in.
Why not?
All access to the temple is currently restricted due to a crisis at WorldCorp HQ. One of our most highly decorated holy warriors is in a bit of trouble, and we can't let anybody in before the situation has been resolved.
But I was sent by PDX to investigate the recent moderator kidnapping.
Is that so? Then you must be Trescon.
That's right. May I come in now?
Absolutely not. But you can help me with something. I'll pay handsomely.
You got my
to
attention.
The tune of what?
380 credits.
That is indeed very handsomely, if you want me to pick up your groceries.
It is all that I am at liberty to offer you. One of our temple guards was recently ambushed and captured by a group of throat heretics. I know exactly where they're holding him for interrogation, and I would be perfectly capable of blasting all of them into oblivion, if not for the fact that I'm under strict orders not to leave my post before the crisis at WorldCorp is settled. Imagine my frustration.
I see your problem. So you want me to rescue this temple guard for you?
Yes, I will give you 380 credits in return. My entire allocated hostage rescue budget for the month of September.
You have a budget for that?
Of course. Abduction is a favorite strategy of the goats. But don't tell our scouts.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
We need the money.
I'll get your man for you.
Good. He's being held for interrogation in the condemned apartment to the southwest, across from the themed restaurant. You'll recognize it by the filthy goat billboard on the front. Which reminds me, I still have to send some people to vandalize that.
Anything else you can tell me?
No, that should be all the information you need. I would be greatly pleased if you would wipe the floor with the blood of those kidnapping bastards, but you won't get a bonus. Just get our man out of there and the money will be yours.
Alright. So, we got us a side quest, which is nominally part of our main quest. There's occasionally good writing that doesn't rely too much on forum in-jokes. A lot of this is heavily tied to mid-aughts forum culture. And it's sort of written with that in mind. Ah, damn it. I don't have the key for this. Or do I? Damn it. Can I break this one? Alright. Just everybody remain calm. Don't panic. This is just a perfectly ordinary alarm. Definitely not someone breaking and entering into a coffee shop. There we go. Okay, now we can safely explore. And what a find we have. Because apart from some money on the counter, gives us 170 credits, and some passkeys. You won't believe what I got off that caffeine tripping guide Fred knocked out last night after he trashed a chair at a couple patrons. The key to the safe in Captain Apollo's. What should we do with it? This may be our chance to finally give those posh suckers over at Apollo's a well-deserved kick in the proverbial balls. We just gotta break in there one night, rip them of everything they got. Fred says he knows which it's a little hard to read with the device itself there. Fred says he knows which days those guys from Carillion Security pick up the money. We just gotta get in there the day before when the safe is full of money. That'll teach them not to be such a bunch of stuck-up bastards. Anyway, yes, we got a lead on where else we can get some money, but most importantly of all, coffee! This is a usable item in the game, and apart from healing us, it also slightly restores bioelectric energy. So it's a very good idea to keep it around. I'm gonna make it my purpose to drink every single cup I can find. Ooh, gas grenade too, don't mind if I do. Let's place that screwdriver there. Oh, yeah! Oh, that's the stuff, baby. Now, looking for a missing man somewhere around hereabouts. Also, actually, I think we just passed it. Apollo's, I believe, is this fine establishment right here. Here we go. I don't know if this is a door key. Yeah, this doesn't have a door key. The tell is if your nano key ring can interact with the door. If you can't, it means you were meant to pick it. Fortunately, we have that. Unfortunately, we have patrolling firewalls, so we gotta time this carefully. Yeet. Alright, computer's offline. So there's a remarkable amount of custom work that went into this game. Like you can see here, we've got the offline personal computer, but we also saw we had single monitor laptops and devices we were working with earlier. There's a much more diverse and varied assets that they were working with. Like that, you know, obviously they're creating a more contemporary setting than Deus Ex was meant to be, even though Deus Ex itself could have nearly been set in the modern era, but for the nanotech and the mechanical augmentations in it. Like, a lot of it is still... A lot of the actual design of areas still works very well for modern urban environments today. And you don't interact with a lot of the more fantastical or... what's the word I'm looking for? Science fiction-y elements of the section, like the moon base, or the Civil War that's literally divided the country. It's not until the very end of the game where you start to interact with that stuff on a daily basis. Anyway, we got more money. More importantly, we got more coffee. We are powered by this shit.
You know, I'd really...
Just some randos talking about how nobody has actually seen the supposed ruler of the city. There's... Damn it. Right. That I'll try to find a key for. I want to save at least one lockpick in reserve. There's like repeated hints that that Despot, who supposedly runs the forums, is either insane or actively working against the PDX administration, or both. No one really knows quite what his deal is, but even though he's nominally in charge, most of the day-to-day workings is left to your crew at PDX. Yeah, here we go. Oh, shit. We need to be a bit careful about this. We don't... Be careful here, because we do have these guys that are hostile. We need to wait for him to turn, and...
In the name of Oon!
Doink. And doink.
Over there! Oh,
shit!
Preach peace and love. You leave me no choice. I must defend myself.
Damn it! Ow! Alright. That was a bit of a mauling, but that's okay. We got a shotgun for the trouble. Save early, save often. Alright. Oop, damn it. We gotta wait for that one guy to turn his back. So yeah, interesting little detail here. He shows up as neutral or non-hostile until he turns and sees us where we don't belong, at which point the marker will turn red.
He's dead. I must inform the High Priest.
So yeah, there's the... Again, talking about the, like, almost kind of insane level of detail in this. The chief argument between the llama and the goat cultist is whether to call a spork or a foon. And there are actually, like, variants of melee weapons you can use that are both a foon and a spork. They're literally identical. It's just a different item. It's just the same weapon has different items and different names. Anyway, let us sneak up on this guy. Shit.
Dead? I hope the perpetrator is nowhere around. Hello? Anybody here?
That's actually a little bit of a...
In the name of Oon!
If you're paying attention, he was giving the audio bark for having discovered a body, but that was for spotting me. So, that's a little bit of a goof there. Anyway, we have our shotgun and our sword with much less fuss this time.
Damnation, he passed out. I told you he would. You were too aggressive. You gotta be more careful, brother. What do we do now? We didn't get anything out of him. High Priest DT will be
Actually, let me try something here, because this game actually gives you a melee attack as well, with your fists. And it's something you can skill up in and equip better gloves to deal more damage.
Alright, you're the boss.
So let me see if I can sneak up on him and we'll give it a try.
At last, a call, a cry of distress. Concord,
he was facing this way.
Concord, you shall not have died.
Actually, I got an idea. We need something... Ah, shit! Okay, that didn't work. It's not wise to try this until you have actually gotten some augs under your belt and actually gotten better equipped for melee damage. But they can be made viable with the right effort.
Goat!
Damn
Someone
it.
has been killed!
Okay, so he's got a friend in there, that complicates things, and that's where Mr. Gas Grenade comes in.
Have at you! Gas barrage! A trick!
Where'd your friend go? Well, let's get him out of here. Okay, so this is our man here. This is the guy we're here to rescue. I don't know where the other guy went. Maybe he ran out the window. Yeah, I think he did. Shit. Okay, that's the firewall, and I think he's coming for us. Shit. Basically, if you cause enough of a disturbance, the police come down on your ass, and in the early game, that can be potentially lethal. So we need to do this kinda quiet-like.
Combat modules
Damn it!
online.
Okay. Gas grenade causes too much of an issue. We'll do this the old-fashioned way.
Your attacks are senseless! You drive me to defend myself!
Hey. Alright. Messy, but I'll take it. Now we can safely walk out of here with the unconscious body. Everybody be calm, just chill, just carrying this definitely not dead guy through the streets. Be calm, I'm with the police, that's definitely no cause for alarm. It's all in the name of 380 credits.
Good work. He seems to be alive. Just leave him on the ground until he wakes up. Maybe that'll teach him to be more careful in the future. Here's your money. 380 credits.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. May I enter your temple now?
You may not. Now please go about your business and leave me to my duties.
Alright. 900 credits, we're getting there. So, one of our objectives was to check on Soul's Bar and Grill to get more information. Let's stop by there.
I assume you've heard of Deus...
Yes, yes. Sort of thing in here we can loot. Just a little kiosk there.
I swear I've seen the statue before somewhere.
Oop. Tranquilizer darts, that'll be handy when we get a mini crossbow. Ah, that's the place. So yeah, this introduces us to some people that used to know Trescon back in the day. Here you get more of a sense for
hello, and welcome to
their
Soul's Bar and Grill.
social life on and offline.
Who's around tonight?
What led to the circumstances
Well, there's me, of course, and Alpha, our bartender, and the regulars like Kunio-kun.
Who's Kunio-kun?
Oh, he's this guy from an 8-bit game, but someone converted him to 32-bit format and gave him a full 3D model. Now he does retail at the bar. Not sure if what he sells is exactly legal, but it's better not to ask.
Interesting.
If you want some advice, though, stay away from that Griffin woman. Oh, she's not at all nice.
Griffin? Kylie Griffin?
You know her? I hope I didn't offend you. I just...
Don't worry about it. What did you say your name was?
Yeah, that was
Sorry.
that was a reference I didn't see
introduce
coming.
Myself. I'm Jackie, a bouncer for Alpha. Well, actually, more like a door woman. There's rarely any kind of trouble here.
I'm Trescon. It's a pleasure to meet you, Jackie, and thanks for the tips.
You're welcome. Go right on in and have a good time.
Alright. So yeah, like I was saying, they're not necessarily professional voice actors, although I'm told that Trescon, actually, the voice actor for Trescon and a couple other characters in the game, actually had a professional setup in their home/office. That's why he sounds a little bit better quality than some of the other characters in the game. But it's honestly a pretty good effort for the most part. Like, you can kind of tell that people are aware of the context in which they're reading the lines, and that there's a decent amount of direction given what's going on in the game. Here's another little feature here. They've actually they have actually implemented multi-page documents. If you like if you right-click while looking at something, you can switch to the next page, and that lets them put more text from a book in there, rather than having to have multiple books be different chapters of the same book.
You know what freaks me out the most? You never know who's a member of these cults. You know Smithers from tech support. I caught him in his office yesterday, praying...
So yeah, a lot of little interesting things that don't necessarily... that aren't necessarily critical in a gameplay sense, but do help the world feel a little more alive and interesting, and give a little more density of content you can interact with. Anyway, right, I don't know why I went in there. Hey, Warren Inspector himself. I always like that fan art. He's a good egg, that one.
Trescon! My god, is it really you? How long has it been? 2 years? That's an age in Rentep form. How have you been?
I've been good, thanks. It's great to see you again, AO.
What have you been up to all this time? And why did you leave?
So here's this chance where you can start to get a little more in character. So you can talk about how you didn't actually want to join the PDX moderation crew, you had some personal things to take care of, you just needed time away. Again, they're treating the things that happen in this game like they're real, but they're also very aware that they're just people playing out video game characters, and they have real lives and real things going on. And that's kind of fascinating. Oh, hey, Ivory, good to see you. Thanks for coming. I appreciate the subscription. But yeah, they play with the online, offline aspect of it in interesting little ways, and it's one of the same reasons that stuff like .hack struck a chord with me. I'm always kind of interested in media that explores the blending of those two spaces. Anyway.
I had some personal stuff to take care of. I had some trouble with the family, and my social life was starting to fall apart. I needed some time away from everything to fix up my real life. I'd rather not get into the details. Some of it was really nasty.
Alright, I understand. Being part of this community often turns out to be a full-time job, and leading two lives can be stressful at best. Sometimes you have to choose, and choosing your real life is probably not a bad idea. Just hope for your sake that you got everything together before coming back.
I'm glad you understand. And I see nothing in particular has happened around here anyway, huh?
You kidding? Loads of stuff's happened around here since you left. DXO and PDX are basically in open war with each other. World Corp has grown huge since you and his Weaver left, and recently they took over Aunt Betty Industries, and the excavations of DXI have been closed down because of some accidents. Also, 2 religious cults have surfaced. No one knows much about them except the members. They sure aren't talking.
This track's also done by Leo Badnella. It's just...
Ask me anything.
He did some amazing work in the background of this game. I wish I could show the final area, because the combat music for that sequence is just incredible.
Thanks. I'll remember that.
Just burst into this mariachi guitar while you're shooting stuff. It's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, Alpha Operator and Trescon go way back. They used to both work for Pdx, and he's got some broad information about what's been going on since we've been away.
Any info on the state of things here? It's been a while since I left.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Alright. So where can I get some gear?
Where can I get some gear?
If you're looking for guns, there's only one place. Raven's Weapon Shop. You can get everything there. Knives, rifles, heavy artillery, night vision, everything.
Sounds good. I'll pay them a visit.
Yeah, but they don't have orcs though.
Where can I get them?
Oh? Where can I get Augs then?
You played DX, didn't you? You need to look for orcs.
So that's what I'm talking about. They're aware of Deus Ex as a video game. They played it. This is a whole fan community about it.
Eunice Weaver. They both make orcs.
And yeah, when the plot gets going, it's treated as just like... It's treated with the world's most straightest face.
Thanks for the hints.
Okay, maybe you should talk to Mercedes in the party zone. She knows a lot about what's going down in the city too.
Maybe I will.
What do you want then?
Alright. I think that's good enough for now.
Nothing. Sorry. I'll be back later.
So yeah, you can get a little bit more about the major players of the game, what's going on, what the latest plot developments are, and you'll be meeting up with him as you go as certain events happen throughout the world.
Is it just me, or are there way too many talking heads around these days?
Ah, now this is the mention that Jackie was talking about earlier. Or this is the woman that she was talking about, Kylie.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I know him from back in the old days. You should be careful with this assignment. It's not going to be cakewalk.
You may remember
There's
the guy
quite a
with the green trench
difference
coat from
between
the
this
intro.
and handling nosy employees. You'll need to do your research well.
I always do. Oh, I should get going.
Uh-huh.
I'll talk to you later, Kylie. Perhaps back at the office.
Perhaps. And good luck, Zero.
Hey, Zero's in this game, but it's Zero with an X. That's how you know he's the bad guy.
Please, get out of my way.
This is a bit slow today. Rashi, to check out my merchandise.
Oh, hey!
Merchandise? What merchandise?
I walked into this guy's, like, conversation grab range.
You can have one for 1,500 or two for 3,500. Ha, just kidding. The upgrades are 1,500 apiece. I'll give you a canister with an environmental resistant orc and an aqualung for 2,000.
So yeah, he sells some augmentations here.
Those are the conditions around here. I can give you a special offer if you did me a little favor. There's a loony called Symbiosis living in the alley behind this bar.
Yeah?
He has a floppy disk of emotional value to me.
I'll bet.
If you can get that for me, I'll give you the upgrades for 1,000 and the AUG for 1,500. I'll even give you a bit of cash to show my appreciation.
So yeah, there's several ways you can rack up the 1,000 credits you need. We're actually pretty close there. So...
yeah, sure.
We'll take the
I'll be
quest,
back
but
in a moment.
probably won't finish it.
Take your time.
We'll keep things moving along so I can show different features. Anyway,
Trescott.
time to meet the X.
Kylie.
It's been a while.
So here's another opportunity to sort of develop your relationship with various characters. If we say not nearly long enough, she'll remain hostile with us for the rest of the game. She can potentially warm up to us if we go it's too long, but there's a plot branch later on that'll heavily affect our relationship as well. For now, we'll just say not nearly long enough.
Not nearly long enough.
I quite concur.
What are you up to these days? Surely you found another way to get away with cold-blooded murder.
Ah yes, the endless discussion. I should have known it would resurface. You still sport that naive conviction that sacrificing innocence to accomplish your mission is a horrible and evil thing to do? I never understood why you insisted on sparing all those worthless lives.
It's always sad when internet boyfriends and girlfriends fight. So yeah, opposites attract, but only so far. Anyway, I always like this option here.
It's just too easy to blow somebody up. Non-lethal combat is far more challenging.
Touché. You may yet get a suitable challenge, Trescott. Just hang around long enough.
Who do you work for now? DxO? World Corp?
Who I work for is none of your business.
The guy you were talking to mentioned the office. He's a colleague of yours?
Don't tell me you're jealous. Trescott, if you think there's any chance the two of us will ever get back together again, you will be sorely disappointed.
Don't be so childish. This is as close as I want to ever get to you again.
At least until I have the
work
Dragon's
to
Tooth
do,
sword.
Trescott.
I won't take
Then
any
it's
more
game
of your
on.
precious time then.
Back off, Trescott.
Yeah. So yeah, if we wanted to do Kunio-kun's errand, we could get a little more cash here. I think... Is there anything we can loot from the back rooms here? Again, since this is one of the areas where they changed the layout. That takes more lockpicks than I've got. So I don't quite remember where everything is now. A blessing and a curse. What I found when I played through the revision mod, which heavily remixed the areas of the base game, is that it could be a bit tricky finding out where keys and other mission-critical items now were. For the most part, a lot of the important stuff was in the same places it normally was, but they expanded and changed a lot of the maps in ways that weren't necessarily intuitive. Let's see. There is one thing we can do. Let's see. Here. Nay. Sniper rifle ammo, though. Nothing there. Ah, here we go.
Dialogue protocols initiated. Super user Phasmatis has requested that all permissions to execute the task cleanup noob.gang be granted to user Trescon. Reward credits equals 500 will be transferred to the user upon successful completion of the task. Permissions set and updated. Monitoring user Trescon.
Okay, you want me to find a gang of noobs and clean them up? Meaning what exactly?
Task properties. Locate all members of the Noobs gang and remove them from downtown sector by any means you deem appropriate. The gang leader is known to hang around the theme restaurant Helga's Kraut Castle near the subway.
Alright, let's check it out.
I'll take care of it.
Dialogue terminated.
So yeah, again, this is coming across as kind of an unintentional period piece. It had been in development for... I think they started work in 2002, and it was kind of about the forum culture at the time, sort of like, again, sort of like the mid-aughts that they were working with. By the time they had finished it, like, a lot of the gang had kind of moved on, but the developers formed their own group called Off Topic Productions. I don't know if they're still together as such, but I know obviously they came back together to remix the levels and update this for the revision. but it's kind of an interesting time capsule of what being on the internet used to be like, as viewed through the Deus Ex fandom. Anyway, this is the guy we're looking for.
Word, dog. What you want?
Oh god, this guy's voice. Yeah, this is... there are occasional blemishes in the voice acting, it must be said.
We need to discuss something.
So, yeah, we're taking the
I'm listening.
Kid gloves with this
People
guy.
have been complaining about the behavior of your crew. You're disturbing the peace and all that. I'm going to have to ask you to leave the area.
Oh man, I knew that was gonna happen. You just some goon too. Bet you don't even understand the situation here, bro.
Then why don't you explain it to me now?
Oh listen man, these peeps are just new guys around here, you know? Without me, they ain't got nobody to watch over them. They ain't got no support. Know what I'm saying? They'll just walk around here like they got no brains until some hater walks in and puts a cap in their ass. They need me to get them into this place, you know?
And how do you accomplish that?
I send them around the place on small jobs. Yeah, get them familiarized with the locals, you know? And I give them maps and stuff so they don't get lost.
What sort of tasks?
Yeah, random stuff, you know? Just whatever comes up, bro.
I'm gonna need some more details.
Oh man, look. Okay, I send them down to pick up the groceries. Nick some stuff for me from the shops. Yeah, I told you, whatever comes up.
Very convincing.
And in return, you give them...
Well, hey, they learn to find their way around the place.
Yeah. How long have you been here, Kale?
It's Master Kale to you, goon man.
Answer the question. Kale.
About a year.
And they all think you're a fellow noob, don't they?
Oh, come on, man.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Shit, you better not tell him you hear. You hear? My street cred, man. My fucking street cred.
God. So here's an interesting solution to the puzzle. His gang is actually around here in another part of the map. We can go there, tell him he's not actually a noob and he's just using them. And they'll turn on him, and I think they will eventually kill him. Or we can kill him ourselves, or we can just blackmail him and tell him to get the hell out of here.
Chill, hold up. Oh, come on, don't tell my crew that I've been here for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, we can cut a deal. You leave together with your crew, and they'll never know you've been lying to them.
Yeah, okay. Give me 20 minutes to get everybody together, and just tell the firewalls to let us pass. Then we'll be right out of here, promise.
Excellent. Goodbye, Kale.
Alright. So yeah, there's consistently strong quest design, and there's usually multiple solutions, and even in places where you're supposed to retrieve a specific item or have a singular goal you need to accomplish, there's usually multiple ways to get there. The overall level design and approach to map design is very strong.
Sector.
We came to an agreement. Master Kale will take his gang and leave the district when everybody's ready. You just need to let them through the gates when they get here, alright?
Input confirmed and verified. Reading orders updated with new parameters. Reward credits equals 500. Transfer to user Trescon. Task archived and deleted from cache.
Booyah.
You're welcome. Thanks for the money.
Great. I see you've got enough money for a monthly pass now. It's good to see you're still in fine trim, Trest. Hope you didn't mind our little test. Just buy a subway pass from the vending machine at the station, and then take the train to the corporate district and meet up with Cashew.
On it. One thing I want to do before I do that, however. Didn't find the key, but that's okay, I brought one. Doing this for a particular reason, too. Not just for the money. Although you do want to scrounge up and grab whatever you can. Anything else here? I don't think there is. Nah, we're good. Anything else behind the counter? Nay. Alright. So yeah, if you aren't able to round up the 1,000 credits, they'll eventually, Skara B. King will actually contact you with an objective that will help you get around it and introduce you to another character you might not otherwise meet. So there's surprising flexibility as you proceed. But let's get our ticket. And Central District, we are headed to the corporate district. I saw that T-pose.
The firewalls about the noobs. Good work, Trescon. Cashew will be pleased to see you're still capable of solving a problem without shooting everybody, unlike many others in your line of work. You should visit Cashew now. I'm sure he'll be eager to welcome you back to the city.
Alright. How you doing,
Excuse
friend?
me. Could you help me with something?
Hey, you're Trescon, right? I'm Zero Hero. Pleased to meet you.
Oh boy, another Zero.
Yeah, me too. Could you tell me the way to PDX?
We're already full up on zeros here, friend.
Sure. I think PDX moved their HQ to the old GITM building. It's on your right when leaving the station. World Corp is to the left. Huge and intimidating building. Very difficult to miss.
Alright, thanks a lot.
I can draw you a map if you want.
What, right now?
Sure. I got this napkin I can draw up a quick map on if you don't mind a bit of shoddy artwork.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's see. That street from down there.
I got the idea.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks. This is, really great.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So, yeah, random guy just drawing us a map of the place. Surprisingly detailed. So, yeah, subway is right here. World Corp's up ahead. PDX is down here. Here we are. So yeah, that's the World Corp building right there. So in universe, we sort of glossed over it, but there was a bombing that destroyed the old PDX administration building over there. And you can see they're still digging through the rubble there. The PDX administration has moved into this building here as sort of a temporary measure. It's believed that it's some sort of like terrorist cell that's responsible. And again, it's a case where they're treating story developments with like grave sincerity, even though everybody knows that this is a digital space. Now, did they update this? Reduction, noobs gang disbanded. Okay, so yeah, the bulletins will actually update with your stuff around the city. And if you break into enough places, it'll actually mention that there's been a string of break-ins and such. Everybody should double check and lock up their businesses. So they pay attention to what you do in a lot of interesting ways. Anyway, we need to... Yeah, we need to pick up our guns from Raving's weapon shop, which is... Ah, right down the street here. Past DX editing, here we go. Raving. Where are they? There we go, I see the sign. So yeah, pretty significant difference from the original game. Pretty much every weapon you could possibly need is for sale here if you can scrounge up the cash. You can obviously pick them up anywhere else that you can find them, take them off enemies if you please, or you can just scrounge up the cash through whatever means necessary and just buy them here. And there's some different items as well. You got the classics in here, the assault shotgun, the sawed-off shotgun, but then you've got some unique new additions right here. So you got your pump-action shotguns. The PS20s are now stackable, so you can carry more than one. There is... Do they have that here? There's a plasma rifle, flamethrower, the Gep gun. So they added a couple weapons here. One of them was like this like napalm launcher, which works a little bit like the glue gun from Unreal, but instead fires these packets of superheated sludge that eventually detonate. Anyway, we're here to pick up our pistols, so let's talk to Raving here. Oh, that's Andreas.
Hello. Welcome to Raving's Weapons Shop. I am Andreas, the one and only sales assistant, and pretty damn good at it, if I do say so myself.
Hi.
So, what can I do for you, sir?
I'm here to empty my locker.
I'm here to empty my locker.
Ah, yes. What's your name?
Trescon.
Wait, the Trescon? Trescon the ex-agent? Trescon who saved Raving's life once?
Hey, we're famous.
Yes, that Trescon.
That's me.
Wow, it's a real honor to meet you. I heard you left the city for good.
Hey, I got something for you. Any friend of Raving's is a friend of mine, and a man who once saved Raving's life is an even greater friend of mine.
You have something for me? Why do I already get the feeling that this is going to be slightly illegal?
Illegal? No way. Not a very lot. Well...
Alright. What do you got?
A napalm launch.
That's it. That's what I'm looking for.
Let me guess. Experimental?
Extremely. Not any less dangerous, though. I've been having a bit of fun with it on the firing range.
What's the price tag?
Because it's you, 1,000 credits, and that's cutting my own throat.
Still a bit expensive, but we'll get to it later.
I'll remember your offer. But for now, I'll just get my stuff from that locker.
You do that. Your locker is the, second one from the right in the middle row on the side facing the door.
Thank you. I'll be back if I decide to buy that napalm launcher.
Alright. Let's go get our stuff. Huh. Ah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright. So yeah, here's our pistols. One of the unique weapons in the game is actually dual wield. It's got an interesting select fire mode where you can change them to fire simultaneously or alternating. There's even specialized silencers you can get for them later on. Very powerful weapons. If you specialize in pistols, they're viable to the end of the game. So grab some weapons, grab some tools here. So yeah, OCF moderator nominees announced. The list of nominees for the newly created position as moderator of PDX Forum City was finally released today. The four nominees are the much feared and respected vigilante Deus Diablo, the retired PDX special operative Trescon, and the veteran moderators Phasmatus and King Cashew. PDX leader Despot has the following comment to the announcement. Each of these four individuals has served the community well and have already managed to establish a certain authority among the citizens of Forum City. Although we only need 3 moderators at the time, we will hold the 4th nominee in reserve for dire times. It all depends on how the general behavior of our citizens evolves during the next few months. So yeah, basically, we were previously considered for the job of moderator, but did not get picked. So, hang on a second. Yeah, that was actually a separate article here. Trescon turns down moderator nomination. So we actually turned the job down. The whole population of Forum City is in a state of shock after Trescon announced yesterday that he did not wish to accept the nomination for moderator of Forum City. The day after the list of candidates was released, Trescon spoke to the population of Forum City on live television and told them that he wished to pull his name off the voting ballot, automatically deciding the outcome of the election. The PDX newspaper has been unable to get a comment from the retired PDX CIS special operative, who apparently has left the forums indefinitely following his speech. But the gun store owner, Raving Nutter, told us that Trescon showed up in the store to lock up his special pistols, which were modeled especially for him by Phasmatus as a reward for a particularly top-secret PDX CIS mission. Nutter said that Trescon wore an expression of sadness, but his voice sounded relieved, and he thought that some time away from the forums would do him good. Celebrations of the election of the new moderators Phasmatus, King Cashew, and Deus Diablo will be moved ahead to the 5th of October due to the cancellation of the election and are expected to proceed according to plan, in spite of the confusion following the unexpected announcement. So yeah, even though the bulk of the plot and writing is focusing on the problem in front of us, which is the abduction of the moderator, there's occasional interesting glimpses into the characters that I kind of like. They don't really do a lot with who the main character is offline, but the little snippets we get, the little glimpses we get of the world outside of this are kind of interesting. Anyway, we can finally access our account from a working ATM here, 905-279-2049. So yeah, another interesting change from the base game is that ATMs are now universal. If you access your account from this ATM, it will not be accessible from other ATMs. And if you hack the ATM, that ATM will be damaged and it will pull from an account randomly in the world. Now, what makes it interesting is that these accounts randomly populate over time. I don't know if it's purely random per se, but they basically will fill up, and you can draw for them again and again if you have the account, but only if you didn't hack them. If you do, it's no longer accessible. So it's sort of a gamble, and you don't necessarily want to hack every ATM you see after you drain every account. So they do interesting little things with existing mechanics here and there. Anyway, here's Raving himself.
Trescon? Can I help you?
Raving, you see your old friend for the first time in 2 years, and then you ask me if you can help me?
Sorry, I'm not good with words. Why are you back? Have you seen Alpha yet?
Yeah, I have.
Good. He was quite upset when you left without saying goodbye.
Yeah, he seemed happy to see me again.
And I see you've been staying in shape.
I've done my best. But listen, I wanted to ask you if you know anything about the commotion in the administration. I was asked to investigate Deus Diablo's kidnapping.
I'm afraid I know nothing of that. I do have some other interesting information for you, though. It may help your investigation.
What about?
WorldCorp and PDX both.
Oh? Do tell.
It may not be much help, but I have a contact in the DxO who reckons that PDX is not administrated by Despot. He reckons that there's some sort of outside influence.
This is part of what I mentioned earlier.
He wouldn't tell me.
So one of the DxOers who are sworn enemies of PDX has told you that he has a hunch that Despot isn't the real leader of PDX, but he wouldn't tell you who is then. That sounds unreliable. Sorry.
Yeah, alright. But I know something about WorldCorp too, and this is much more reliable. A few months ago, I sent Andreas on a scouting mission to dig up some incriminating data on WorldCorp. He found a set of floor plans depicting a subterranean level beneath the WorldCorp building. Here, look at this.
Andreas? You sent the kid on a scouting mission?
Well, you see, I've been working with a couple of the PDX guys for a while. Jonas created some augmentations for Andreas, so he could do all sorts of things like cloak himself or connect directly to a computer without any other interference than his mind. Evil Invasion coded a program to protect Andreas from WorldCorp's aggressive security system.
So you've been turning Andreas into your own personal covert agent. Why?
So I could keep an eye on WorldCorp, of course. We wanted to know what those scumbags were up to.
So you sent him into WorldCorp and he got these blueprints for you?
Yes. Unfortunately, Andreas came back half demented and with malfunctioning augs because of the black ice system protecting the confidential data system. Whatever you do, don't hack into those systems unless you really know what you're doing.
This is important
Andreas only
advice.
survived because of the cut-down version of black ice that Evil made for him.
So Jonas from PDX made Andreas' augmentations.
Yeah, Weaver is the only way to get augs around here other than WorldCorp. He may know something about black ice, too.
I'll remember that.
Watch out, though. He's a total ponce.
So yeah, this is something to take seriously. The computers in WorldCorp are protected by black ice, and if you don't have a countermeasure installed, any attempt to hack them will actually damage you, drain your bioelectricity, and set off the alarms. So again, they're expanding on the original mechanics in interesting ways. There's one other thing I want to point out here before we move on.
Hey, what are you doing?
Black ice, wonderful. Exactly, yeah. So yeah, he gets increasingly agitated as we access his computer here. We can hack it right in front of him, as is usually the case with Deus Ex.
Alpha's beer is phenomenal. You should try it out if you have time.
Oh, don't worry, I will. Alright, so this is Alpha Operator talking with Raving.
Alpha's
Something
beer
about
is
WorldCorp.
phenomenal. You should try it out if you have time.
So if we do it again...
Dresscon, what? Will you stop that?
Slipping hazard. It is indeed. And if we do this one more time...
That's it. Out of my shop.
Oh, shit. So yeah, we have no skill at pistols, so this is not going to end well for us. But we did fatally wound him. That's not a good idea, because he's the main, and for a while, only weapons dealer we have access to, so getting barred from his shop is a significant issue. There are things you can do here that can discreetly get resources for yourself, but if you're not careful, those can be tracked as well. So again, this is paying very close attention to decisions you make large and small, and they can unfold in ways that you can't necessarily anticipate. So it is ultimately still a fan-made product, but they're expanding on what the Deus Ex engine can do in innovative ways. Like, we actually return to this city throughout the game. It's actually kind of a hub level, and you weave in and out of mission areas rather than like the original where you'd go to Hell's Kitchen, then go to the airfield, then go to China, then go back to Hell's Kitchen. You will return and pass through here several times before the plot actually progresses. And so they're doing interesting things with the game space, with the way the story progresses. We're coming up on an hour and 15, so what I'm going to do, I will rush ahead to one of the first major plot things here.
Yes?
Trescon here. I have an appointment with King Cashew.
Showcase the major thing
Come right in.
that gives this game its replayability.
Welcome to PDX. I'm sorry. I'm quite lazy here. Busy at the moment. Dr. Gond, I put him in charge while I'm away. Oh God, what have I done?
That will pretty much be the last time we hear from
Hello,
Desmond.
Triscon. I'm Chrissy, the receptionist. It's an honor to meet you. I've seen your record from the CIS days, and I was very impressed.
I hope I can live up to your expectations then. Could you tell me the way to King Cashew's office?
Of course, that's my job. The elevator is down the hall to your right, second door you find. You need to ride the elevator up to the second floor and make a left down the curved hall. Just follow the hall until you can't go any further and then make another left. That'll take you through another curved hall to Cashew's office. You can go right in, he's expecting you.
Thank you. I say, this place looks rather messy. What's going on?
Wow, you're so perceptive. We just moved here. The old administration building was destroyed by a terrorist attack a few days ago. It's all been real fast. Fastmatis managed to get this building for us almost immediately. Used to belong to some construction company called GITM.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Pretty drastic measures.
Yeah, we aren't very popular with those DXO people. I'm not sure why they want to kill us all, but luckily only Cashew was in the building when it happened. And he's invincible because he's a moderator, so nobody was hurt.
Well, that does explain the mess.
Things aren't working
Yeah,
very
fuck
well
private
around here
property.
yet.
Only people
Everybody's
matter.
still settling in and setting up their stuff. This place isn't exactly perfect. We had to install Jonas's lab in a sort of leisure room, and the armory was set up in the ladies' room after we removed all the plumbing. People are complaining a lot, but I do my best to keep things together.
It looks like you're doing a great job of it too. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you, Chrissy.
So yeah, it's a nice bit of
Yeah, it was a
storytelling.
pleasure
They've had to
meeting
move
you
in
too.
here in a
I'll see
hurry,
you
and they haven't
later. Don't be
really
a stranger.
set everybody's accommodations up. They're still moving stuff out. There's explains a lot of boxes everywhere, and how they had to make do with what facilities they had were available. Like she said, there's a lab in the restroom. Anyway, let us... Where's that elevator? Probably took the wrong way. That's okay. That's it. There we go. Alright, so this is meeting up with our old buddies at the Forum Administration, whom we used to work for, and at one point, we're going to join part of the ruling council. Now, you may notice this is kind of a big area with a lot of security, and a lot of security measures that perhaps we might encounter under very different circumstances. I'll not elaborate on those just yet, but just tuck that little detail in the back of your mind for now. I believe this is Cashew's office. There you are.
Trescon, it's been quite a while. What have you been up to all this time?
A UNATCO level, exactly.
Kebabs over a polar bear dung
In a
fire?
Deus Ex game.
I'll have you know that moose kebabs
There's
are
an
a
interesting
healthy part
twist
of
with
any
that,
diet.
however.
You wanted to talk to me? Oration monkey?
Yes.
I think the joke there is that Trescon, or his voice actor, is Canadian.
If I were you.
Either his voice actor or Trescon himself, who was one of the lead developers in the game.
Before we get down to business, I'd like some compensation for that ludicrous ticket price.
Of course. I imagine you're a little short on funds right now. Will 500 suffice? Unfortunately, we're a little short on credits these days, so this goes out of my own pocket. This should be enough for a few nice things from the weapon shop.
That'll have to do then.
I hope you didn't mind the test we put you through. We just needed to be absolutely sure you're still in shape.
I'm in better shape than ever, and I assure you, I'm ready to get to the bottom of this case.
Before I tell you anything else, we need you to take care of a problem for us. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on at WorldCorp.
What do you mean, specifically?
Well, it's a touchy situation. Apparently those llamas sent a bunch of their members to WorldCorp to spray paint the toilets. They all got out, except one of them. A member called Silver Dragon. He's pinned down by security people in the basement. That's all we know at the moment. If you could help Silver Dragon escape, we can turn our attention to more important matters.
Why do you want me to get this Silver Dragon out? He's affiliated with PDX?
Not exactly, but our reason is twofold. First of all, Silver Dragon is a veteran of the community. We wouldn't like to see him harmed.
Especially not by WorldCorp, I gather.
Especially not by WorldCorp. Second of all, and most important to you, Silver sent me a PM requesting our help and offering in return to give us an important piece of evidence.
Hey, Zero. Good to see you.
I can't promise he's not bluffing.
How you feeling over there?
But I think it's worth investigating. Don't you?
If there's a chance Silver Dragon may have information that can lead us to find Deus, we have to act on that.
Thank you. Good luck with your investigation.
Alright. Let's see. Anything else to say?
So, Cashew.
I know what you're going to ask.
I assume you noticed there's a pool in the middle of your office.
I did, but it's very considerate of you to point it out, though.
Don't you think that's, I don't know, slightly weird, perhaps?
Perhaps a little.
Or that it sends an unfortunate signal to people.
Good to hear.
One might be led to believe you spend your time at work, bathing.
Yeah, we've had a few Zeros already.
It was the largest place next to God.
One of them possibly a villain, the other one a very helpful NPC.
Move the pool soon.
Zeros with a Z,
I think
to
I'll
be
have
clear.
it converted into a small archive.
You could keep it, of course. It might be nice with a little dip in your break time every now and then, when you need to be cooled down a bit.
Let's just drop it, please. You have more important stuff to do than ridicule my misfortune.
As you wish. As you wish.
So yeah, again, more indications that they had basically commandeered the building and were working with the space that they had available. But anyway, yes, we're coming up on the big first act part of the game, which is to get this Silver Dragon out of WorldCorp. Now, as you may recall, that Scarabee King wanted to talk with us as well, and he will have a competing offer.
I'm deeply disappointed that you chose to visit PDX before you came to me, Trekmon.
Right?
I don't know what sort of communist propaganda they've been filling you with, but you must come talk to me now. Believe me, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Once again, he keeps getting our name wrong. And amusingly, there's actually a bunch of...
This place get all the good headlines these days.
There's actually a bunch of outtakes in with the game files of people just stumbling over his name.
Evil invasion.
They had a lot of fun putting this together.
Exactly as it says on the sign. Wow, Trescott, I really like the code. Did you steal it from JC yourself?
So yeah, we had the option to put on a code
Even
when building the character, and people have noticed that
So
now.
you're still a resident hacker, eh?
I'm a programmer. I just hack when I need to.
Huh. I think this is the first office of a program I've ever visited without expensive hardware laying around the floor among pizza boxes and empty cans of pop.
Sorry, but I just moved in. Give me a few days. Then this place will live up to all your prejudices.
Are you gonna be able to help me open doors and such?
Yeah, sometimes I will, but not all the time, though. Not all the doors are linked to the computerized control system. Sometimes I'll be able to help you out on your mission, just like in the PDX CIS. If nothing else, then by sending you images and other information. Remember that once I'm into a system, the security camera's as much use to me as whoever you're trying to sneak past.
So he'll be our Alex Jacobson
Can you
figure.
enter the WorldCorp systems?
I'm
Eventually.
afraid not. There's a lot of complications concerning that system. And their network security guys are not idiots as opposed to most other newbies who get jobs like that.
Thanks for the info. I should get going now.
We'll
Talk
keep
to you
this
later.
brisk for now.
Alright, bye.
So yeah, there's a lot of supplementary conversations and information we could be digging up. We're focusing mainly on the mechanical distinctions that are of note. Yeah, no kidding. Like, this is back when GameSpy was legitimately a thing. It's kind of hard to think back to those days. Like, when did they shut down? I want to say it was like I want to say it was 2011, but I honestly don't know. And, you know, the sites were still up for a while. So, like, their file archives were still up there. It was kind of a weird, like, time capsule of internet detritus that had been uploaded at the time. Sometime after the IGN merger, that's it.
Welcome to the World Corp Incorporated Global Headquarters. I hope you find my little firm sufficiently impressive. My office is on the 4th floor. Just take the elevator up here and we'll talk about your future at this company.
Interesting side note, Scaraby King and Trescon are voiced by the same actor. And honestly, I think he does a pretty good job distinguishing them. You can tell, if you pay attention, it's definitely the same inflection, but he does a good job playing up like the slimy corporate type in addition to the more standard protagonist role. Okay, Erica, the WC receptionist password is Honeycup. World Corp account names have the user use the convention initials plus full last name. So, okay, Erica, here's how it works. So yeah, this is taking a long thing about how to summarize, or how passwords and such are structured, and your data vault has summarized that information here. So we can learn so if we can learn the last name of Penelope, the receptionist, we can start breaking into computers here. That's important because if we try to hack them, bad things happen thanks to the black guys. In fact, we'll try and do that here. That might not apply to these terminals, but definitely applies to security panels. I think it'll specifically say it's protected by black ice. So this might be okay. Yeah, this is fine. There we go. So yeah, Miss Holman, changes to your overtime. That's it, E. Holman. So now that we have her name, we can use her password too, which is Honeycup. Erica, that's it.
Watch your step. We have authority to apply with.
Alright, so the elevator is... Here we go. Actually, is there anything in here we can grab? I give up on these fucking vending machines. First, they just refused to put out orange soda when somebody bought it. Whenever the orange button was pushed, they'd just release a can of lemon lime instead. After messing with it for something like 2 weeks, I decided to just nix the lemon lime cans entirely. Nobody likes this stuff anyway. But I can't really explain it, but it seems like the damn machines are magically turning all the cans of orange soda into lemon lime. I fill it up with orange soda, close it up, push a button, and out comes lemon lime. How is this possible? I swear I will take that machine and chop it into tiny pieces. Or alternatively, order a lemon lime only front cover for it. So yeah, a lot of little things poking fun of the original Deus Ex here. Like there's one email in a side mission that talks about how they have to make the air vents specifically able to accommodate a man with 200 pounds of equipment climbing through them. So yeah, the whole thing is like Deus Ex fans being Deus Ex fans and just celebrating the game in their own ways. Like, it actually makes sense when the trained assassin runs up to you and introduces himself in conversation rather than initiates combat. Yeah, it's great. I love the writing in this game. It's... Like I said, it seems like it's going to be self-referential and just talk about stuff that's specific to the setting, but they do a good job making it more broadly accessible by just Deus Ex fans in general. Anyway, let's talk to Scaraby King here.
Ah, Mr. Trescon. I'm glad you came around and
So
paid me a
close.
visit. That PDX gang really isn't a crowd you should hang out with. It's Trescon. Right. Anyway, as I said in my PM, I have an offer for you. I'm just here to ask you what you know about the kidnapping of Deus Diablo. I don't know a damn thing about his kidnapping, but that's not why I called you here. I want you to work for me. There is room in my organization for a man with your skills. If you forget about Diablo and help me achieve my goals, I will make you very,
Interesting
very,
point about
very
that, Orange.
But if you
Interesting
oppose
point
me,
about that.
I will destroy you. You understand me, Tretton? It's Trescon. Yes, I understand. I don't care about Deus Diablo, and neither do you.
if you think about it. I care about me, and you care about yourself. Deep down, all any of us really care about is ourselves. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm heading straight for the history books. I'm all in. I'm going to make myself very, very powerful. And if you help me, I'll let you in on a piece of the action.
Well, Deus Diablo's disappearance is the reason I'm even here.
If you think Diablo's case is just your average abduction, you're even dumber than you
It is indeed a framed
There
credit
are larger
chip.
things going on here, and if we play our cards right, we'll be in control.
I think
of
that's
this
the actual
entire
police
city
boat from the
before PDX is any wiser.
from the
What
first
do you
mission
say?
of the original
Are
game,
you
just shrunken
interested?
down.
Go on. My corporation happens to have a rather bad relationship with religious fanatics known as the Llamas. They're very fond of exposing me to their childish pranks. Yesterday, a couple of
It
them
probably
snuck
is.
into the building, decorated our
Or
toilets
stole
with
one of the
graffiti
two.
referring to their 133 Tinas, and made their
I like that he
escape through the
pronounces
parking
that.
basement. One of them, however,
Spells that out.
failed to sneak back out. My security staff has trapped him in the basement, and they're making sure he isn't going anywhere. They've tried to put him under arrest, but his fighting abilities are apparently not inconsiderable. It would appear that brute strength should not be underestimated. Of course, I'm amazed at the amount of incompetence which has allowed a dragon of rather noticeable size to enter the building undetected in the first place. But that matter will be dealt with in due time. First, I want you to get rid of the dragon in my basement. Crush it, mutilate it, I don't care. Just make sure it dies. You got that? I want it dead.
So we've got goals at cross purposes here.
And in return for killing this dragon of yours, I get what?
That's the spirit. Don't worry, money isn't an issue. And neither are augmentations, if you know what I'm saying.
So we have a choice here. We don't necessarily have to commit to it right this second.
Sounds like a deal to me.
But
I'll be back.
we'll
when
keep
the
our
dragon's
options
dead.
open.
Excellent. You'll be rewarded accordingly, of course. Let's see how you'll handle yourself against a dragon.
So yeah, the dialogue would change a little bit if we went to go see him first instead of the PDX gang. For some reason there's a DVD of Citizen Kane there. But yeah, we have a plot branch here. We can either free Silver Dragon from the basement and join PDX, or we can kill Silver Dragon and join WorldCorp, which is overtly like the evil path. We essentially have a Witcher 2 branch, only they're transparent good and evil things. It's a little like if in the original Deus Ex you could actually stay with UNATCO even after you'd expose them and hunt down your brother Paul and the other terrorists slash freedom fighters.
Please don't mind the graffiti, sir.
So yeah,
It'll be
llamas had
removed shortly.
graffitied up the place. Let me find the way down to the basement. Actually, I think it's down in the... We can take that parking garage, so we can head outside. But yeah, I find this very interesting, because this significantly changes your progression through the game. You'll pass through a lot, but not entirely the same areas. And you'll be in very different circumstances for each. That thing I alluded to in PDX, where it's all like heavily guarded, you can potentially like anger security and such, that happens if you join WorldCorp. You'll actually go back through there on a mission and suddenly you have to sneak around. And it's actually quite difficult because, as mentioned, the moderators are invincible. So if you run across King Cashew, he'll mop the floor with you. Whereas if you side with PDX, we'll eventually go back into WorldCorp on a couple occasions and all the security here has been turned hostile. In the meantime, these guys think we're working for them.
This garage is currently under a security lockdown. There's a bit of a dragon on the bottom level, you see.
Yes, perfectly understandable. So let's get down there and see what we're dealing with.
What are you doing here at this hour?
Doing your job for you. Which is to say, killing you. So, here's our dragon itself. A very literal silver dragon.
Ah, don't kill me!
By
Well,
Talos,
feel
a
kinda
dragon!
flattered having a huge dragon beg me for mercy.
You're not with WorldCorp?
No, my name is Truscon.
Well, whoop-de-doo!
What are you doing down here?
I was graffitiing King's toilets with some of my friends when they caught us in there. I wasn't small enough to get back out.
Okay. So yeah, we can either help him get out of here, or we can fight him right now, or we can tackle this problem a little more creatively.
I was sent by Cashew to get you out of here.
Hooray! What do you want me to do?
So yeah, if we wanted to kill him, we could tell him the way is clear, and he'll go and... That's a Greasel painted silver. I demand a refund. Yeah, they basically just scaled up a Greasel, and that's what we're dealing with. He does breathe fire, however. Anyway, so if we wanted to kill him, and didn't want to fight him ourselves, we could just say the way is clear, and he'll go up against security. They'll eventually wear him down, but he will take several with them, because he is still fairly dangerous. But, since we're trying to get him out...
I need you to wait here.
Right. I'll keep the Whirl Corp people at bay while you work.
Roger that.
So, let us acquire some resources here. Now, since these guys think we're still working for them, we can take advantage of that.
I don't think I'll ever understand those scientists. That's so interesting.
Let's see, what do we have? And I think that should do it. Now, I don't know if we have to deal with every single security guard, but... good old inventory Tetris, a staple of the genre. So yeah, that's the way back out. We do this carefully, and we can discreetly eliminate pretty much every guard here without alerting them. We'll have to deal with this somewhat quietly, and stealthily eliminate any opposition where we can. These guys are more or less covering each other, but this guy is off by himself. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky... Zap! Yeet. They don't suspect a thing. These guys are watching each other. We'll deal with the isolated guards we can. Hi, how you doing? Problem is I burned a lot of the prod chargers on the goat cultists. But we can still make things easier on ourselves, and bearing in mind that Silver Dragon himself can take care of a lot of these guys without much fuss. Yeet. Hey, an assault gun. Actually, do we have enough skills to upgrade something? Pistols, trained, rifles, not quite. That's alright. When quality fails, there is always quantity. There's another guy. And yeet! Alright, we're out of ammo there. But that does deal with a good chunk of the guards. So. We just need to take this very carefully and delicately and plan this operation with a high degree of care and precision.
What the hell?
Bang, bang, motherfucker! Precision! I think... Yes, excellent. That did not alert these guys. Good. So yeah, like I was saying, they do a really good job with the quests in this game. In that classic Deus Ex style of allowing you to approach your objective through a variety of means, even if the core objective is ultimately fairly simple. The way they approach level design and the structuring of each map, the props and NPCs you come across, they do a really good job encouraging you to think outside the box and act creatively. There are places where you're expected to use lamb laddering and stack boxes and such and exploit the AI. the whole thing is just an excellent labor of love. Anyway.
It's time to go. Let's get out of here.
Great! I'm right behind you.
Let's have some fun.
I'm on fire!
Nice shooting, mate. Let's get you out of here. So it's a nice little nod to the... Oh. The AI is still jank, of course, since we're dealing with a large dragon. We do have to mind him around some corners here. But for the most part, he can handle himself so long as he's not fighting the whole guard force by himself. Oop. Here we go again. I think what's happening is I'm actually kind of getting ahead of him. And, you know, I like the little nod that Skarov mentioned. Like, how did a dragon get into this building discreetly? And like so many things in the writing, they just sort of give it a nudge and wink and say, don't think about it too hard, it's just Deus Ex fans having fun. Come on, you. We'll do the thing where if I walk backwards, I walk slower, and the NPC can keep up. Whee! Alright, homeboy. Let's get you out of here.
You got me out! Time to return the favor. I have a recording of a holocom transmission that Deus recorded just before he disappeared.
That could be just the break I need to get started on my investigation. Where did you get this?
I stole it from WorldCorp. That's why we broke in here. We wanted to see if we could find any evidence that WorldCorp is behind the kidnapping. And maybe we have. I haven't had a chance to play it back yet, though. Here, let me upload it to your data vault.
I'll have to take a look at this as soon as possible. It was a pleasure meeting you, Silver Dragon.
Likewise, Trescon. May you live long with the blessings of the great Lamar upon you.
Peace, brother.
No! Son of a whore! Goddamn shit on a stick! You're dead meat, Trislan! Dead meat! If you ever get anywhere near this building again, I will have you riddled with bullets, smashed into a fucking thin paste, burned into ashes, and buried at the bottom of the fucking sea! I'll kill you, Triscon!
Yeah, you actually got the name right.
Kill you for opposing me!
Oh god, I love the delivery of these guys. It's just, like I said, we're still dealing with a fan-made product, but the game's highs are at least as good as most of Deus Ex. It's very definitely striking that same vein, even if it's ultimately a more comical and breezy tone. But yeah, we'll call it there. I think that's a pretty good demonstration of a Nameless Mod. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really like this. It was really nice to revisit something. I was actually very pleased to see what had changed from the original, the revised layout, the little things they've added since then. And this is just scratching the surface of the content. There's way more that I just didn't have time to get to tonight. So I highly advise you, if you at all like the original, definitely seek this out and give it a try. It's free. It's a whole new campaign. There's a whole lot of replayability to it. It's just a ton of fun. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a good night. And back to Cult of the Lamb on Saturday. Till then, see you next time.